Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hello, dear friends, and welcome to Kardec Radio, and welcome to Prayer for Peace. We are here gathered together, dear friends, for another beautiful opportunity for us to pray together. The world is in a situation right now that prayer is utmost importance. And that's why today the message that we're going to read to prepare us for our prayer talks about how we should approach prayer in our lives. Do we ask ourselves, is there a preparation that we need to do? How can we speak to God? Well, thanks to the Spiritist literature, we know that we don't need anyone. We don't need an intercessory, someone between us and God to pray. Like we probably had this belief for many lives in other religious beliefs. Now we know we have this direct connection to God. But how are we approaching prayer? Let us read Emmanuel's message and then we can talk more and reflect together. So, today we're going to read a message from this book, Our Daily Bread. The message is number 108, 108, and it is titled Prayer. We're not going to read the whole message for us because the message is quite long, but we're going to read the last two paragraphs. This is what Emmanuel says. The words of Paul of Tarsus are very clear. Devote yourself to prayer, being watchful and thankful. It is imperative to recognize that to praise it is not solely the utterance of beautiful expressions. It is also to be happy while in actual combat for the victory of goodness, expressing gratitude to God for the motive of the suffering and sacrifice, seeking to find the advantages that adversary and the efforts brought to the spirit. Let us ask Jesus for the gift of peace and happiness, but let us not overlook glorifying the supreme designs. Each time his merciful and just will clashes with our inferior objectives. Let us be convinced that a prayer contrived of desperate thoughts and inappropriate demands is destined to the renovating floor, has a course to an unproductive flower that the wind blows away. Friends, Emmanuel is reminding us, how do we approach prayer? Because he's saying, do we pray and we think God is like the genie in the lamp? That we go there, we say, Genie, please wish me the 3 wishes that I so deserved. Is that how we approach prayer? Because a lot of people think that prayer is like a list. They can go there with all the petitions and, oh, what if God don't fill out all the petitions I have? Then I rebel. I kick and scream and say, oh God, why life is so hard? Why is this happening to me? So yes, we know Jesus said, ask, knock, and the door shall open to you. Ask and you should receive. But does that mean that God is like the genie in the lamp that's gonna just fulfill our whims just because? No, Emmanuel reminds us that we have to cherish this conversation with God, but we need to approach it with our part as well. How? He gives us a list. He says, first and foremost, it's important for us to be happy while in actual combat for the victory of the good. He's saying, don't be downcast as you're going through the struggles. Stay positive, optimistic. So let us be optimistic. Let us not lose hope, he's saying, in other words. He then says the second, express gratitude for the suffering and sacrifice. Oh, wow. That is a hard one, right, dear friends? Be grateful for the suffering and sacrifice in our lives. Yes, it is hard. We may ask, why? Why do I have to be grateful? Well, thanks to Spiritism, we know that nothing happens to us because we are victims. On the contrary, we attract the circumstances and the situations that we have to go through. So if God is allowing us to go through a challenging situation in our lives, is because He knows we are strong enough to succeed. He knows that the cross is not heavier than we can carry. And He also knows that we will pass this challenge even stronger. So before shooing it away, we are grateful and we ask ourselves, God, what you would like to teach me in this situation? And that brings us to the third point, because he says, find the advantages in the adversity in our lives and the efforts that was brought to us. So find the good, as Emmanuel says throughout his books. Look at the situation, as hard as he may be, and he says, look for something good. Like Jesus walking with the disciples, and they saw the carcass of a dog that had died probably for several days. We don't know how long. And the disciples were quickly disgusted and they're like, oh, it smells so bad. Oh, and they were complaining and complaining. And Jesus turned to them and said, look, that dog must have had beautiful teeth. Oh my God, Jesus is revolutionary. So that should be us in our lives, looking at the hardest situations and looking for something good. So if we approach prayer that way, we are not just doing the list of petitions, we are acknowledging that there is a reason why this is happening. We look for the good in that situation and we ask ourselves what we can learn from it. Because what happens, and then he says, if we do the contrary, if every time that God doesn't fulfill our inferior objectives, as he points out here, we are rebellious, we are ungrateful to God, then our prayer would be, like he says, he used this expression, the prayer would be destined to the floor as it occurs to a flower that the wind has blown away. In other words, he's saying, our prayer would be for nothing. So, friends, let us reflect today as we are preparing ourselves to pray together. In each of our lives, we all have problems, we all have challenges. Life on earth, remember, we are in a planet of trials and expiations. But the easier we are in the hands of God, the more renounced that we are, the more at peace, It doesn't mean that our lives are going to be perfect, because on earth, perfect doesn't exist, not yet. When earth will be in another level has planet, but not now. So we are easy in God's hand. We renounce and we say, God, you know what I'm going through. You know me. Please help me overcome this in my life. Show me the way out. I might not know, but show me. May I learn what I have to learn. May I grow, and may you show me the way out. And thanks, God always listens to us, dear friends. Yes, He does. He's always there with us. He sends so much help for us each and every day. It just depends on us to trust Him and stay strong. So let us now prepare ourselves, then, dear friends, to pray together, shall we? Let us then close our eyes if we can. And feel the presence of the dear, loving mentors, emissaries from the beyond, who come to visit us at this moment. Let us visualize us opening the doors of our homes, welcoming them, and let us visualize that these illuminated beings visited each room in our houses, cleaning the physical and spiritual environment, rescuing those that need help and support, and taking them to the spiritual hospital. And let us visualize these illuminated beings embracing each of our loved ones, family members, friends, those in our lives that we know are in much need of help and support. Dear loving Father, you know exactly what we are going through. You know our hearts like no one else. And you know exactly what we need, which we know, Father, is not necessarily what we want, but you give us exactly what we need. We pray that we can be easy instruments in your hands, that we can see the signs that you send to each and every one of us, the opportunities, and that instead of having a list of demands, we open ourselves to your designs. Because you know exactly what we need, Father, to succeed in this life. We pray for everyone around the world that at this very moments are feeling desperate and abandoned. For those that don't see a way out, dear Lord, may they find helping hands, kind words to console their hearts, so that they don't give up on life, and they also don't put the lives of others in danger. We pray for peace around the world, for countries, communities, that are going through violence and wars. We pray for those in hospitals and nursing homes, shelters, and also those on the streets asking and begging for the mercy of others so that they can have something to eat and a roof over their heads. May your love, Master Jesus, which we know conquers all, envelop this beautiful planet Earth. And may we stay together in harmony with you today and always. And so be it. Dear friends, it feels so good to pray together. I see dear friends here. Hi, Slavik. Hi, Tony. Hi, Polito, and everyone who we cannot see. We hope you have a beautiful day, a beautiful evening. Let us stay together in this higher vibrations, right, dear friends? Let us feel God's love with each and every one of us. And of course, stay connected here because at Kardec Radio, we're always nourishing our souls. There are programs here 24/7. Go to our YouTube channel there, subscribe, look at our videos. We have so many beautiful playlists, study sessions, prayers, books, novels for us to watch. Much, much more there. Friends, we will see you soon in our another prayer for peace. Bye bye.